Macaulay Culkin or something. Jesus Christ. Like, how did this happen? You're like following your dad onto the plane. You're like, it's that guy with the jacket. You're like, Helena, you're on the wrong continent. How did this happen?
Alina was supposed to be in Thailand for the month, and
Yeah.
then she decided to come back through Singapore, and now she's in Malaysia. So that's why yeah,
Yeah.
we're laughing.
Yeah.
You're in Asia still. That's great.
I hope you write a book
Yeah,
one day.
it's because I ended up buying the flight this morning,
Hmm.
and so the one that
Okay.
was available was the one who was passing through here.
There we go. Well,
Makes sense.
it's an adventure. All good. All fun and games. So let's get rocking and rolling. We don't have Wing Commander Thwaites today, which actually is the first day in a long time. He texted me, so he let me know in advance that
Yeah.
yeah, he wasn't going to make it. He said he'd miss us. So yeah,
I hope he's
we'll
okay.
yeah, I think he's right. We'll send him our best wishes and look forward to seeing him on next week's call. But obviously, we have some new faces, we have some familiar faces, and we have an agenda for this week's masterclass. So we finished the bootcamp mini series, as a lot of you guys were following along with. Ended up being 11 weeks, I think. So all of the replays for that bootcamp mini series are in the classrooms tab within the community. And the purpose of this bootcamp was to essentially go through the different stages of launching a business, focusing on each part as you progress through it, as you work on it. When you launch, everything from researching the market that you want to target, developing your customer avatar or ICP, developing and refining your offer to market, and then launching an MVP, a minimum viable product, which is essentially the leanest, lightest, most basic version of your offer to find out if your target customer actually resonates with the offer and puts money down, buys it. And then we went into marketing, content creation systems, various different marketing strategies, looking at using AI, of course, within your marketing to get eyeballs on your offer. Then we went into sales, sales scripts, sales approaches, sales funnels. And then we finished off last week with a touching on deliverables and fulfillment, but really looking at it through the lens of how do you structure your business to be able to deliver the value that you've sold to your customer and have AI support you with the process. So, what we're going to talk about and go through today is how do you really structure your business from the ground up, from the start, such a way that enables you to build and scale and grow, particularly by using AI within the infrastructure of your business. So we touched on this last week when I ran you guys through a sort of an idea of a business plan structure. Okay. Now, I was going to say by show of hands, but don't worry, this is going to be one for everyone on the replay. Most of us, both of us included, and I know, I think Michelle last week's call, and I think Elena, probably, maybe Alan could probably say the same thing. I think we've all launched businesses and never written a business plan for those businesses.
I'll raise my hand to that.
I'll raise my hand to that.
Yeah.
Like literally, yeah, right.
There
Okay,
you
thanks, Alan.
go.
So most of us, there we go, Michelle as well. Nice. So we've all done it. We've all launched a business without a business plan. So then the question becomes, well, why is it actually important? Do we actually need it if we're going to start implementing AI within our businesses? And there's something about building AI solutions, building automations, building agents, autonomous actors and so on that run to perform key tasks within the context of your business. There's something about doing that that means a business plan becomes exponentially more valuable if you include it from the start. And the reason is an AI agent is actually quite similar to a team member. And the way that it's similar is you're defining a role for the business and you're defining tasks within that role. For example, within like organic content, you might have content research, you might have come up with captions and hooks, you might have generate images, you might have then put together the post, the carousel, the video editing. You might obviously then you schedule the post. So all of these tasks are individual bite-sized chunks that can be taken over by what in Claude Code is a skill. And a skill in simple terms is basically a document that defines how to do a repeatable task that is picked up by an AI agent and then executed. The simpler, leaner, and more straightforward that skill is, typically the more consistent the agent is going to be executing that task. And when you build an agent in Claude Code, it might have, say, 5 skills that it can use and it can run independently. Technically, it's spawning sub-agents to perform those skills. But without getting too deep into that, what we're essentially doing, oh, he's joined us, Wing Commander Thwaites. But what we're essentially doing is we're creating tasks and roles within our business that are executed by AI instead of people. What the hell does this have to do with business plans? Well, for anyone that's hired team members or built out a team, you've probably experienced the challenge where you explain what you want to the team member. Hey, I want you to do this and do this and do this, do this. They go away, they come back, they're like, I've done it. You look at what they've done, and it's nothing in line with what you wanted it to be done. You're like, oh, no, okay, no. Like, I wanted you to do this and this and this. And then they go away and they do it, and it's still wrong. And you come to the conclusion as a small business owner, and a lot of you will have experienced this. You're like, I should have just done it myself, right? It'd be quicker if I just did it myself. And that's the trap of the solopreneur to small business owner building a small team. And it is what stops a lot of business owners from really starting to grow a team and build something that's bigger than just themselves. There's this trap of, I should have just done it myself. And within that hides the reason why a business plan is so crucial if you start using AI within your business. And that is, you have to be able to clearly articulate and define the tasks that you need doing, why they need doing within your business, why they matter, and how it fits into the overall process. And this is very similar to how you need, when you start building a team, you need to get good at articulating what needs to be done. What's the task? Have you got any insights on that? Because you've obviously built a team up to 13, like, have you experienced?
So for those who don't know, I started a dog walking and pet sitting agency. It was just me. And then all of a sudden I hired my friends, and now I have a team of 13 and I'm managing an agency that does 6 figures. And what I've learned is, in the process of building my business over the past 3 years, I've implemented AI solutions. Obviously, Dan has been a huge help there. And Dan's been a huge help. And so I've implemented we've implemented an email agent, and then Sarah is a voice agent. We have Ashley, who's a text message agent. And then I have my actual team members, and I use like 5 or 6 different softwares to do bookkeeping, internal messaging, calendar. We have like Google Drive with everything. The problem that I'm experiencing now is, in order to get it past the like 10K threshold per month that I'm at right now, is I need to streamline. And that doesn't mean just adding more agents, but it means connecting all of the pieces right now. Right now, it's kind of duct tape together. That's how we call it, the duct tape monster. We're maybe going to trademark that. And we call it the duct tape monster because it does really, really, how it functions is really good, but it's like very individual. And this is true with any business, AI or not. And so I think it's really important when we talk about a business plan, again, AI related or not, it comes back to the central thing of like, why are we doing this? Why are we building? Why are we streamlining? And so if we have a business plan, we've talked about this extensively the past few weeks. If everything ties back into, why are we doing this? Okay, I'm building a website for conversion. It doesn't need all these cool tricks and stuff. So my SEO, my website, my blog, I have these agents that work individually. If they all know that we're pointing towards conversion every single time we post, they'll work together cohesively. So we are moving away from, or we're rather moving forward. We've built the agents. We kind of know what we're doing over the past few weeks. Dan has led us through that. Now it's about cohesion, so that every single team member or AI employee, however you want to phrase it, is working together towards a common goal. So that's what we're going to do today.
Yeah, exactly. And so the starting point for this is really, again, just getting clear about what are the different parts of your business, what do they do, why do they do what they do, and you
Yeah.
always look at it through the lens of the customer journey. It's the most effective way to get to just the heart of what really matters, because you could write 1,000,001 things that your business could do, but what really matters for you to deliver the value that you deliver to your customers, to stripping away everything else.
And I want to add too, if your business is like, if you're not quite sure what your niche is yet, if you're not quite sure who you want to serve or what the product is, your business plan is going to be a little bit all over the place, right? And so if you write down, well, I could do this and I kind of want to do this and I sort of like this and maybe we'll do this in the future. When you automate it and everything will be cohesive, everything will be a cohesive mess. It comes with clarity. And that's what, again, the past few weeks we've been talking about gaining clarity, getting your niche, getting your MVP. So if you're rewatching this, don't start with this video. Don't start with building a business plan with 80 million things that you could do. Niche it down, get it concise, and hopefully we're going to show them what's next right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I shared with you on last week's call a sort of a full template with a lot of sections and subsections and so on. So for those of you on last week's call, we talked about using the markdown format of a document. So H2 tags, H3 tags, H4 tags, and so on. That's basically headings, subheadings, smaller subheadings, and so on, in order to build a plan that allows both people and AI agents to navigate it effectively. So if you didn't catch that replay and you're at the stage in your business where you're like, I need to put this plan together, and especially after watching this masterclass, if you're then sold on the idea of, okay, this is why I need a plan, watch last week's call as well. That's going to help with that. But I want to share with you guys today a different angle on how to create that plan in a less daunting way, and to be able to get you started, just get you started on the path. Because do you remember we talked about using this as the single source of truth for your entire agent code base, right? This is the master plan. This is what all the agents can see as context. So when they work on their individual parts of the process, and when you're creating individual skills, or even if you're more advanced, if your agents are creating the skills to keep building out your entire business themselves, they're all operating from the same plan with the same guidelines, the same structure, the same data schema, the same workflows, the endpoints are connected, the same cohesion. Like putting the techie language aside, they're basically working from the same plan. They all know what's going on and they're all going in the same direction. So important. Otherwise, as we've learned, because it's what I said in the school post for any of you guys that saw the post for the masterclass today, we built a duct tape monster. And now I'm like, crap, okay, I've got so many agents and so many workflows that are bundled together, literally like a ball of fucking wool or something, with like 17 ends that connect or don't connect. And sometimes to find how they connect, I've got to unpick.
So he's got a lot of
things.
N8N workflows, and so they're not working together as cohesively. So let's go ahead and show them what we're working
on. Like, let's move on.
Let's move on. Yeah, they get it.
Got it. Okay, go. Right. So let me go ahead and I'm going to do this as we go through it. And this is going to help visualize how we do this. Okay, so let me just grab something and then share screen. I think it's in this one here.
Really?
No, where did I put it? This
doesn't look like it.
No, that doesn't look like it. Oh, okay. One moment, please, guys. There it is. We're going to grab that.
Okay.
Let's save that. I'm going to go into a new plan. And then it's taking a minute. Share screen. Cool. Right, so we'll do this completely fresh. So if you want the full template, I will share it below again, like I did on last week's. I'm also going to share this very light template that I'll create with you here. And I want to show you guys a way to do this faster, in a less daunting way, more effectively, and use AI to help you, but not in a way where you're like, write my business plan for me, right? Because it's going to be trash. So what you do, may I? Thank you. So what we do is we're going to take each of these sections, and little trick, hop on a Zoom call with yourself, turn on Fathom, hit record, and then just literally talk through the different sections of this business plan just on your own on Zoom.
With Fathom.
With Fathom, and Fathom records it. And then once you've got the recording, the Fathom recording, you just drop that transcript, copy and paste it to Claude and say, here's the entire information of a transcript about my business plan. I want you to put this business plan, this information in this format, in this business plan, structuring the headings as the H2 tags for this example of the plan, and then share this link with it. And then for any subheadings, use H3, H4, H5, and H6 if necessary tags in order to nest the right information in the right sections and the right departments to help navigate the plan effectively. All right. So it's kind of like you're just basically getting Claude to build the format that we talked about last week using your Fathom transcript. It's a lot less daunting than being like, okay, I've got to fill in this entire thing myself, or I've got to ask Claude to do it, and it's going to be rubbish. And Michelle's like, yeah, absolutely. You know, we've all been there.
If you're a visual learner, you can also use a color for a board on Miro. You can do a mind map and you can throw that into Claude. So I'm more visual and colorful. I like splatters and paints, and like I like it to look like this. And Dan likes to just talk it out. He's more audio.
Well, I can do a bit. I can do it all. It's all good.
You
But
can,
anyway.
of course, but you like to just speak directly into it. So.
Yeah, exactly. So you can talk about it.
I'm
so-
glad you said this because I opened your draft from last week and I was like, cool. I scrolled through it and I closed it again.
You're like, done. Too much. No, that's fine.
It was very daunting, yeah.
And also as well, you raise a good point, because not every business, in fact, probably most businesses, are not going to need a lot of the stuff that's on that draft. And it's probably better, rather than having everything and then trying to eliminate stuff, you like just have an empty skeleton and then just fill in with what you need. And like Amy said before, like you're building out, this is going to evolve constantly as you pivot, you change, you add new strategies, add new approaches. And again, if you're structuring your code base in a way where every time you build something, if it relates to the plan, or like you've now created, for example, a new agent within the plan, in your Claude.md file, you would just have an instruction that says, every time you build something, update the plan, right? And so again, even Claude's going to keep updating this master plan. And this is why it's so important. If you have it as a single source of truth, it's going to grow and get really goddamn, powerful over time.
This is definitely what we should have done.
Hey, you live and you learn.
We lived and we learned. But this will prevent a duct tape monster, we believe.
Yeah, exactly. So
are we going to do a hot seat with Elena?
Elena, how's your internet and Wi-Fi?
I don't know. We can try. Is it good? Do you hear me well?
I hear you better now than before. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Should be
Right.
okay. Okay, so we could do the hot seat, and we could do basically talking through. Let me think of the best way to do this if we're just doing this live now. Because Elena, we were talking about you basically relaunching a let's call it a coaching consulting offer, a strategy offer for businesses on what you would call social media strategy, right?
Wait.
Not social media strategy. She's pivoting
No.
into group coaching.
Okay.
No. Yeah, so it was like what we discussed was more related to me doing my signature offer, but more for the holistic coaching and like embodiment and not to the social media.
Cool. Okay, so what we can do then for this call is, rather than because we won't be able to obviously go through the whole plan and create it, because I've just shared with you do the Fathom transcript is going to save you an absolute ton of time. Otherwise I'm seeing it, writing it, which kind of defies the point. So what we could do, what would be really valuable for you, Elena, I think, is to break down, well, what parts of the business need to be in place if this is your strategy, so that when you talk about to your Fathom recording, what products and services do you offer, what marketing strategies, what sales is important, and so on, we've actually got an idea of these are the subtopics within this department that are important to have in place. So again, if we look at this through the lens of the customer journey, what would you say, and how do I word this in the most effective way? Let's start with your MVP. So what is the absolute bare bones offer in as short a description as possible? So think elevator pitch. Bare bones offer that you're going to be giving to your new target market with this new angle for the business.
Yeah, I wish I knew.
I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit challenging for me to put it like in words right now. But essentially I want it to be a kind of like let's say 8 weeks. So let's put like 2 months of a program where they basically go through transformation that like where they're right now is basically like no confidence, just like being like repeating the same patterns, not feeling their emotions, feeling very disconnected and kind of like, oh, it's always me, you know, like I'm the victim and like for me, this always happens to me and like why this happened to me and kind of like stuck in different areas of life, basically. So there's in general, there's like a scarcity mindset, I would say. And I think I want to bring people from that to transformation where they feel confident, empowered, and very connected with themselves. Through not only, you know, like speaking in terms of like mentorship, because this is what I want to do. Like I want to, through my journey and my lessons, I want to teach people. And at the same time, I want to use tools like somatics and dance to have them connect more with like their heart and their body more than their mind and like the logic part. So it is a process of going a little bit from like wounded masculine energy to a like healthy feminine, like confident woman, more than anything that really trusted herself. And like the narrative is not necessarily always positive, but it's like I'm going through this shit and it's fine, kind of thing, you know, like it's about like also healing that like guilt and shame that comes all the time when maybe like hardship comes.
Got it.
And most than anything, like like repeating patterns. Sorry, I've been like vomiting a lot of things.
So it's
So
a
good.
2-month program. Is there going to be like a group coaching call weekly, bi-weekly, or one-on-one?
I'm thinking group call. I think I would like to have something. I wouldn't want to put like a limit to the number. Like if one day, you know, like I'm able to have 200 people, like 500 people in a room, like I wouldn't necessarily, I would not say no to that. But I think I'd like to start with, I think having 10 people on like a first launch, it would be really like a really really big win for me.
Cool.
Because I've never done like group. So yeah.
Cool. So let
And
me
it's
stop you there.
weekly.
Let me stop you there for a second, Elaine. This is great. So what we've got here is we've got a bit of an idea of the market that we're serving. And this is again, if you're at the stage, and I don't think this necessarily applies to you, but if someone is at the stage where they're not clear on their target market yet, who they want to serve, then it's important to get that right before going into a business plan to plan the business. So the way that would look is, and I have an agent within this school community. Again, I'll share the link for it below. It means that you can, or what it does is it generates 4 documents for the market research of the sector that you want to target, the customer profile you want to target based on your idea for your offer and so on. It then generates customer avatar documentation, or ICP, ideal client profile. It generates ideas for your offers, angles that you could reach out to your target market based on the voice of customer research from the first 30-page document. And then it gives you a final brief document, an overview of basically those first 3 documents combined with a bit of a leaner summary of how to begin to develop an offer to that market. So once you're at that stage, you'll have pretty naturally filled in this first part anyway, just from doing the market research for your business. It then brings us to the point of, okay, if a person is going to fill in a lean version of this business plan to get started, what are the essential subheadings that we need in place in order to get a clear enough idea of how to go forwards from here? Okay, so for market analysis and competition, market analysis comes into ICP, market research, offer creation, etc. But we're focusing on pains and problems. And then we're focusing on result, solution. Okay, so if we can define those 2 things, and so they're going to be H3s, heading 3, because it's a subheading of this H2, right? Pains and problems, result, solution. So just those 2 things, that, and we could probably copy that under there, right? If we're clear on those things, then we can move on to products and services, which is where we can explore ideas for offers that could solve the pain and problem, or pains and problems up here, and help your target market create the result or the solution that you've defined down here. And there's lots of different ways to define that offer. Now, you of course might have the, let's say, the delivery vehicle. And by the way, an awesome resource to watch for getting this bit right is on Alex Hormozi's website, acquisition.com. He's got a free course. It's literally free. You can just go on acquisition.com and watch this, and it's bloody awesome. And it's how to create your essentially $100 million offer. I think that's what he calls it. And so when you are exploring this part of the process, he maps out, he's got a couple of really cool visuals. Is the model done with you, DIY, so do it yourself, or done for you, DFY? Are we talking one-to-one, one-to-many? So Elena, you've mentioned group, for example. Or are we talking mass market? So things like, products, software, and so on and so forth.
This one that has all of them. You want me to just drop it in there?
Yeah, just drop that link in the
Is there a
chat.
specific video that you were thinking of?
No, it's the whole course.
I'll drop it in the chat.
Thanks, babe. And I'll click that link so everyone can see it as well. Thank you. Yes.
And also, can you send the one that you mentioned before about the marketing research that has 4 parts?
Yeah, that'll go in
Or
the link
the
down below on the
description.
replay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'll pop that in there. No worries. Thanks for the reminder.
Thanks.
So yeah, this course here, just acquisition.com/training/offers. This whole course is bloody awesome. I remember the first time I watched this was like, I think COVID 2020. So watch that. And that's going to really help you define the product. So the delivery vehicle, okay, is going to help you define the delivery type. And it's going to help you define what actually is it.
This is what you're thinking of, right?
Yeah. Put that in the chat. Yeah, thanks, mate. Okay, not heading 2, that's going to be heading 3, like so. And heading 3. The reason, by the way, that I'm not just highlighting the whole lot and just dropping in at H3 is for some reason Google Docs, they do some weird, funky formatting stuff and it messes up the page. So it's, yeah, just an annoying little thing. So products and services is going to help you define that. Now, marketing. What do we have within marketing? Well, if you're launching your business, I'm going to just save you guys an absolute ton of time and energy off the bat. And that is pick one channel and just focus on that. It is so tempting to be like, oh God, I need to go do my Instagram, got to do content there, I've got to create my content on YouTube, long form, and I should be posting on LinkedIn as well, and I've got to do blogs for my website and all this stuff, right? Businesses that do all of that stuff well typically have an entire team. You don't have an entire team yet. Don't have a team of agents yet either. And it's going to be too daunting if you're like, I've got to create 17 agents for all of these different things. I don't know where the hell to start. It's too much. I'm just not going to do it. It's overwhelming. So just pick one. What do you pick? Well, in an ideal world, you look at what other businesses in your niche are doing and doing well, and then you model that. So for Elena, for example, you might know from Instagram that there's a lot of who you would class as competitors that are getting fantastic growth on their profiles, getting a lot of engagement, they're winning a lot of clients through that marketing channel. You have experience in that channel as well. So your initial thing might be like, okay, what channels? Instagram. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to start building out my business with just that in mind. And then, of course, you might have future things like ideas for down the line. You're going to do website, and here's how you're going to take the content and put it into SEO and blah, 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 and all this stuff. Like you can do that for sure, but just pick one channel to start with. Now, what else is important? Let me share screen again. So, so we've got the channels or channel. Oh. Like that, and let's put that as a H3. Cool. And we got the so let's call it messaging. So messaging, offers, and you might call this content pillars. Again, it depends, like there's different content strategies. So I would advise find a content strategy again from someone who's training the platform you've chosen. Like go on YouTube and like look for the top Instagram coaches in your space that are doing very well, getting great clients from their Instagram. Find someone that's teaching what they do. Take that strategy into Claude. Be like, I want you to scrape the transcripts of this YouTube channel of this person, and then I want you to generate a report that maps out their content strategy based on what they talk about, and then I want you to help me implement that within my business plan. Right. So all of these steps, everything you do, just you gotta start thinking along the lines of, I don't have to do this myself, and I'm not necessarily just going to get Claude to just do it with no context. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Claude assist me in researching and finding the valuable information so that I can then look over that and add my 2 cents into the mix with support in order to define the final plan of action. Okay.
Can I ask a question then?
Sure.
So let's say that I'm focusing on Instagram,
Mhm.
and I do have those accounts that I look up to, and I think they're doing great. In terms of like finding the strategy, you mentioned now something about like the transcript and YouTube. How do I do that for someone on Instagram? Like, or how do I do the research on them?
Yeah, so great question. So I'm going to show you something now. We're going to do this live together. And just before I do, I just want to make sure that I've got the name of it right. GitHub by this guy. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to show you. This is the right one. Where's the stars? Am I being completely blind? Where's the stars?
I think you have to click into one to see the stars, no?
No, not the code base. It should be literally just straight up in the repo. Am I being completely blind? Okay, I think it's that. I need my phone quickly to double check that. Right, so what I'm going to do.
Oh, here.
Oh, there we go. It just took a minute to load. Could you pop that back, please? Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna show you live how to import a skill into Claude Code. And by the way, if you've not set up Claude Code or added or created any kind of code base yet, we went through a quick version of doing this on Masterclass. Amy's gonna find which one it was. I think it was like.
Does it say in the title?
Probably.
Okay.
Setting up a VPS for AI agents. Don't know if some. Okay, we'll find you the masterclass where we went through this.
If you've never seen GitHub, what we're about to show you might look scary. Don't be scared.
Don't be
All
scared.
it is, okay, it's a hub where developers and amazing nerdy people that know what they're doing behind the computer, they're like, hey, we want to create free coding solutions for other people. So my developer friend over here doesn't have to recreate the code for the exact same thing over and over and over and over again. So it's just a marketplace hub where coders have put in little snippets of code for free use, and then people rate them. And so we're going to look at the stars. That's what he was looking for. So don't be scared. GitHub, it's okay. Don't panic.
okay.
Do not panic. I panicked when I first looked at this. Don't panic.
Don't panic.
Michelle, looking at you. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
So our developer friends have developed these amazing skills and coding things for us. And people have already rated them. They've already given like Google reviews essentially. So that's called stars. You're going to look at the stars and we're going to look for anything over 1,000 has been vetted. Anything less than 1,000, we still need a few Google reviews, if you will, to trust it, okay? Anything that's over 1,000 is good.
Yeah.
This one has 10, so we're good. We're in the clear, 10K.
Yeah, so this is a great way, exactly as Amy says, this is a great way to get started with things that other people have already built that are already awesome. And once you start following, let's say, a couple of people online that teach like Claude Code, right? How to use Claude Code. And I'll give you a couple of my favorites. Again, I'll post it down below for you to maybe go and follow them. And then you'll start seeing content where people are posting, hey, this is one of my favorite repos for this or for that, or
yeah,
whatever.
The term is repository or GitHub repo or repository. So you're going to hear all of those. It's the same thing. It's our developer friends that have created codes that we can then take and use. So we don't have to replicate and reinvent the wheel each time.
Yeah.
So you're going to hear Git, you're going to hear GitHub, you're going to hear repo and repository. It's all the same thing.
And in the absolute simplest terms, a GitHub repository is basically a clone of files and folders on someone's local computer that they've published into the cloud. So when you start using Claude Code, you give Claude a folder to work within and then start building stuff within. And then if you push that to GitHub, it's like a clone of the folders and the files on your computer. And so when you're pulling a repo, it's called, that someone else has built that already does a bunch of stuff, you're basically just adding that into your own Claude Code folder on your MacBook.
This requires you to have your own GitHub account. The reason why is because if you find a GitHub repo that you like, let's say it's an SEO skill that you like that Roger has built. I don't know who Roger is. Roger has built something that's 10,000 stars. We love it. When we download that GitHub repo, it's going to be in the context of like Amy's business or Michelle's business or Elena's business. Then you're not going to push that back to Roger's workspace. He doesn't care, right? He doesn't care about our businesses. He's got his own Roger's business. So we need to push that to our own GitHub house. So you need to have a GitHub account. It's free.
Yep, that works.
Okay.
Fair enough. Good. Okay. So
just the question, why do we need to get it from GitHub? Or like, is it easier because they already built it, or should we just like build it in our own Claude to like make it learn our skills that we wanted?
Yeah, you can do both. So GitHub is basically the place where developers put things that they've built for other people to use. It's like the universally accepted platform that all developers use. Most projects run on GitHub. GitHub's like,
The reason it's important for me, who knew nothing about this like less than a month ago, okay? Dan was like doing everything for me. Okay, so I have different agents on my actual workspace on my computer that do different things, obviously, and they have access to different skills. So I might have the same skill for 2 different agents or 3 different agents, and they might have slightly different like things that they're like exact MD files or exact like things that they need to accomplish. Yes, it's towards the common goal, but for the sake of this argument, it's like different things that are slightly worded slightly differently. So the GitHub house is like the common place where the agents can check if that skill is in the house, and then they pull it. Instead of everything living in different files on your computer, this is like your Google Drive essentially.
Yeah, so when you're the reason again that the business plan is so important when you start pulling these skills in is that when you say to Claude, hey, I wanna add this repo to as a skill to our folder, our project folder, Claude understands what it's working within. So when you say this is going to help me do X, Y, Z in my business, the first thing it's going to do if you've set your code base as like the business plan is the master file, you check this every time a new session starts, and that's in your claude.md file, right? So if that guardrail is in place, the first thing Claude's going to do is understand your business and then go, okay, this skill needs to be adapted slightly to do this and this and this and this, and then Claude's going to add 95% like the skill, but it's going to tweak the little bits that need to be tweaked to fit in the context of your business. Without the context, you can still pull the skill, you can still use it, and you can still guide Claude on, I want this and this and this. But the problem's going to come in, this is what I've experienced, if you've not set out the master context of how everything should connect together and why through like a business plan, you have to know how to tell Claude to connect everything together. And that requires some developer knowledge. What systems hook into what? What's your configuration for webhook endpoints? How do data schemas line up? And a lot of that, I mean, I honestly, I don't really know. Like I've kind of taught myself a bit as I've started doing this, but I'm not a developer. A developer would be like, bro, what the hell are you talking about? Like,
I did this yesterday. I built a beautiful waitlist form with Claude Code. Completely forgot to hook up the back end. Completely forgot. So I don't know if people signed up. I think it went into the ether if they did. So whoops, learned that the hard way. And then I had to hook up Flowdesk and get an API key and stuff. But this is why it's so important. I'm going to have a quality assurance agent that checks this stuff. So that's my next goal.
So what you're saying is we find the skills on GitHub, we download them, and then we tell Claude Code, use this and use it in our context, change whatever you need to change to make it usable.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll show you how to do this now. So I've just opened Terminal. So if anyone's been using Claude Code, you've probably noticed that terminals are one of the main ways to interact with Claude.
It's Claude Code's house.
Yeah, it's Claude Code's house. You can also, if it looks a bit daunting, you can also just use the Claude desktop app and then just go into Claude Code. And again, it's the same thing. You're just basically selecting the folder that you want it to work within. So I go this folder, and then I do the same instructions here, and I can pick the model and some other settings and so on. It's basically the same thing. Terminal's just the.
Do you think the app goes slower?
Yeah.
That's why. That's why people like Terminal.
Yeah, I mean, there's pros and cons, and like really, like developers use what's called an IDE, like VS Code, which I'm hovering over here. But again, we won't go into that. Terminal's just like the lean, raw, limited functionality, but it just allows you to talk to Claude, and it can build stuff and do stuff and run essentially on your machine. So I've just pressed Shift and Tab. You see, it's toggling between the different modes here. So Shift and Tab. General rule of thumb, whenever you start building anything somewhat complex, is very useful and highly recommended that you begin in plan mode. All right, so Shift and Tab so that plan mode is on, and it will write out what's called a PRD. This is a product requirements document. It's a developer strategy that developers use whenever they instigate projects, and it basically outlines all the key components, the scope, everything required for the build that we're doing, and it's the instructions for Claude to stay on track. All right, so it's just going to help reduce errors and bugs and issues and things where it just doesn't work. So always start in plan mode.
Plan mode still does stuff. You just have to approve it first.
Yeah.
It's like your employee coming to you and saying like, oh, this is what I'm going to do. Is this cool, boss? And then you say yes.
Yeah.
And then it does it.
Yeah, pretty much. So I've just pasted in the URL of the GitHub repo. Okay. By the way, the first time you do this, Claude might say, hey, you need to connect your GitHub, and then it will just pop up with an authentication, and you just enter the logins for the new GitHub account you just created. It's the same as creating any account on anything. Very basic, very straightforward. So you just enter your username and password. It will then say, yay, connected, or it will ask you for, if it does it through API, it might ask you for an API token. Again, don't be scared. If you're like, I don't know what that is, walk me through step by step. It will literally say, click here, paste this, done. And again, there's anything you get really stuck on. There's YouTube videos of like how to get your API key from GitHub. It's just literally clicking in the menu and going, just clicking a couple of things and then paste a code. So you might get that the first time you do this. So I've just pasted in the GitHub repo, and I'm just going to use my Mac Whisper voice command. I want to add this as a new skill into the code base that you are working within. And I want you to then run this skill to analyze my code base and visually display the different nodes within my code base following the requirements of this skill. The reason I've said that is because this skill that I'm importing, it's called a knowledge graph. And this is going to be something that will be really cool once you've got your business plan and you've got the different subsections. If you add this skill and then get it to run and build what's called a knowledge graph based on your business plan, you're going to, if this works, and it might not work, this might actually show me that my code base is a total train wreck, right? And we can see this together. It doesn't always go smoothly. So if you do this for your business plan, you'll begin to get a very cool visual of how everything's connected and interrelated and why it's important. All right. And it'll become, the more you build it out, the more valuable this is going to be for your 100,000 foot overview. So I've written that. I'm not going to do anything more than that for now. I'm just going to keep it really lean, very simple, and then we'll literally just see what we do. It's going to start in plan mode. And what this repo essentially does, I came across this the other day and I was like, I'm going to do this on the masterclass. A knowledge graph is basically like a bunch of dots that are connected by lines where dots represent a piece of information. So, do you want to share screen?
Oh, really?
Yeah, just to sort of visually.
This looks crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I just Googled what is a knowledge graph because this is new information for me too, you guys.
Yeah, there you go. Do you want to share screen on that?
Yeah, so this one looks insane. Let's click on this one.
Yeah. So this is a piece of information. And again,
just an easy one to start with.
Just an easy one to start with. Yeah, exactly.
That's what your N8N workflows look like.
That's what my N8N workflows look like. Absolute disaster. But it's like, how are things connected? So for example, you click on a node, and let's say that node is content strategy, right? From your business plan, you click on a node and the node relates to the heading for content strategy, which lives within marketing. Just pick one and then stay there.
Oh, sorry. You want me? Sorry.
Yeah, just literally, that's all right, right? Just pick one and then I'll just use that as an example.
Okay, got it.
Cool. So we're looking at this one on the right-hand side. So let's say you've clicked a knowledge graph node, and the node relates to your content strategy. Now, the other nodes that are connected to that might be, so you might have one for the platform. Bless you. So one for the platform, and that might be Instagram. You might have one, bless you, for the content pillars. So you might have 3 content pillars that you use within your content strategy. And you might have another one that's like a content type, right? If that's in your plan, content type is connected to content strategy.
So if you're a visual learner, this is for you. This is it. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So it will literally allow you, we'll give it a sec to run that. It will literally allow you to generate, and you don't have to manually draw it like in Miro, and you don't have to try and keep it updated yourself by constantly drawing it. It's literally spun up live based on the structure of your business plan and how knowledge is connected. This is something that organizations
wish they could build.
Well, kind of, yeah. There you go. I love that. Yeah, stop share. Thanks, babe. So this is something that organizations is one of the big offers that a lot of the AI guys are starting to pivot towards, because they're realizing that companies, especially mid-sized SMBs, let's say 50 employees, 30, 50 employees, that kind of range, they've got so much knowledge and context siloed in all these different systems around their business, and they've got no way to understand how it's all connected and related and how to access it. And you've got like your go high level data over there, and you've got your CRM system over there, and you've got your QuickBooks over there, and the finance team runs in QuickBooks, and then you've got all the conversation history that's happened in Zendesk with support tickets from your support team, but the conversation history doesn't go into the CRM, so the salespeople have no idea what the hell's going on, and marketing and sales are completely disconnected, and marketing's found a winning offer, but they haven't put it through to sales, and so sales guys are still running the same old scripts that don't work. So you see how everything's like utterly fragmented and broken. But when you centralize both database and you centralize something like a plan of how your business works together, and AI agents can start to understand how it's all connected, a knowledge graph is the visual representation of the flow of data within your business, and it will show you as well where there are gaps and breakdowns, and AI agents will be able to look at the knowledge graph and say, okay, there's a problem here with the flow of information. It's not really like it's not allowing context to move through the graph to where it needs to go. And it just allows you to very, very clearly yourself get clear about your business and how it's connected. But more importantly, if you're using AI, it allows the AI to understand how it's connected and how your business is interrelated. Okay, so that's the principle of how it works.
It's still running, it looks like.
Yeah, I've noticed I've done this a couple of times on Zoom. Do you remember when we did the sales funnel? Like we're building the sales funnel. It took bloody ages, didn't it, to actually
It does say plan mode on. Is it asking you for permission or something?
No. It's running.
Okay.
And I can expand and see what it's doing. It's just researching a lot of skills. It's looking at the repo. It's understanding the context. But I've noticed it seems to run a lot slower on Zoom. So just FYI, guys, if you're doing a Claude Code session yourself.
So let's relate it back. So at the beginning of the call, we were working with Elena's business plan. And Elena is very similar to a lot of our friends actually who are getting into something different. They're pivoting maybe, or they're niching down their market a little bit more. So they may not have a lot of information filled on the business plan. Do you think we have enough that we're able to then plug it into Claude Code and get some type of visual?
On this,
Yeah, well, let's bridge the gap between what we're doing with the business plan and then the visual representation, right? This will feed into that, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so what we're going to do for this example, I'm just going to have it develop the knowledge graph of my own code base.
Oh, we're not
Here.
using Elena's?
No, because we haven't done the plan yet. We need to do them. Eleni needs to do the plan. So this is what we're saying.
Okay.
So the purpose I've shown you in last week's call, we've got an example, a template example of all of the different sections and subsections of what a full plan might look like. Quite overwhelming. This week's example, we're doing it in reverse, right? So we're just going, okay, well, what's the bare bones, literally summary, description, market analysis, product services, marketing, sales, org chart, etc. The bare bones of what you would want to talk about to Fathom, right? In order for Claude to be able to extract the business plan from the Fathom recording. And again, it's also going to highlight, if you don't know at all, then you're going to say, I need you to help me understand, Claude, how to develop a sales strategy for my business. We need to write a plan for this part of the business plan, right? This is the gap.
Someone should not run the GitHub repo and build this out until they have filled out every single one of those points. Is that right?
I mean, so this is a visual representation of the plan, and if the plan is half complete, then the knowledge graph will be
I
half complete.
see. Okay. So Elena, your next step is going to be completing that document using Claude Code to mirror back any gaps.
Yeah.
Or just sit and think about a little bit more about but I mean, it says org chart. So Elena is like a team of one, as far as I know. I don't know if she's still on here. So on there is the org. Can we go back to the document?
Yeah. So the org chart, again, if you're a team of one, what we're doing with org chart is you as an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, wear many hats. The org chart is what are the hats that you're wearing when you're a team of one. Okay? Because you are the marketing person, you are the salesperson, You are the finance person. You're all of them.
Is this also the place to put in 3 months, I want to hire an social media manager?
Yeah.
3 months from then, I want to hire an HR person or director or something. Is that the correct place to put future plans as well?
Yeah, exactly. So the way that we did this for BWB is we had phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
Yeah.
So like phase 1 was where are we at right now? Phase 2 was what's the midterm goal of where we want to pivot to, and then phase 3 was what's the long-term goal that we want to drive towards. And so again, we define this, and if you use that kind of system, you're like, okay, for phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, they've got different marketing strategies, they've got different sales approaches, they've got different ways that the team is structured. And again, you don't need to start out in that detail. If you're just starting out, literally just be like, well, what's the MVP that I'm going to launch? Let me write a business plan for just getting my MVP to market and making my first sale. That's the plan. I just want to make win my first client. Cool. Write your business plan for that. Once you've done that, or you get close, then you can start growing it out. Okay, well, what's the plan now? And again, this is why it's so important to recognize that this is an evolving document, but also recognize that if you have it as the single source of truth, as you update it, your code base, your agents, Claude, is going to understand how your business is evolving and also what needs to change within its code that it's writing for the different systems that you built and so on and so forth.
And sales would be like different revenue streams, is that right? So whether they're selling courses or group coaching calls or one-on-one calls, and then how they are selling that. So is it automated on a platform like Thinkific for a course? Is it a one-on-one sales call that's booked through Calendly and then it's a 3-call close? Like is sales the place to put those things?
Yeah. So what's your sales strategy? Absolutely. Like, what are you selling? How are you selling it? Is it a sales call funnel? Are you doing a VSL? I'd recommend starting with the sales call funnel, particularly if you're selling high ticket stuff, because you need that feedback from customers. We talked about this on previous masterclasses. But yeah, again, in absolutely simple terms, just like, what's my sales strategy? And if you don't know, if you need help, just be like, Claude, I need you to go and research experts in this space online. And I need you to help me develop a sales strategy. What do you use to do the research? Well, again, you could say, Claude, help me find some of the most highly starred GitHub repos that are related to researching YouTube for particular influencers, right? So this is what I'm showing you. If you can just get used to just all you need to know is that there are some resources like this available, and you only need to go, oh, wait, this is a moment for me to ask Claude to go and find GitHub repos with over 1,000 stars to do this thing that I need to do. I don't know my sales strategy. I need to see who's doing it really well. And so to do that, I need to get Claude to go and research them. So what do? I tell Claude to go and find GitHub repos that are recommended for this exact task. And then you literally just copy the URL. You go to Claude. What scope should we analyze? So you copy the URL, you go to Claude, you paste it, the URL, and say, I want to add this to my code base as a skill. Right? This is what I'm showing you now. So which scope should Graphify analyze? The full code base is very expensive. A focused subset gets faster, cheaper, and more useful results. I'm just going to do infrastructure now, just again, because we're going to have a monstrous... I have a lot of stuff in my code base. So I've been building it for quite a while.
Michelle has a question. What's your question?
Yeah, go on, Michelle.
I'm just thinking, like, if I went to GitHub, I don't know anything about these skills, right? I can go obviously by the ratings of the stars, but it's kind of like if you've never tasted avocado toast before and you look at different restaurants, like, how do you know which one to go for? You know, like, just because it's got 1,000 stars, does that automatically mean that that skill is going to do what I needed to do without me understanding how it's built and what the backend is?
No, so you'd research. So let's give an example. Let's say you're like, I want to optimize my website. So then it would be like, Claude, give me a list of 5 GitHub repos that are highly recommended for SEO for my website. And any GitHub repo has an explanation by the author of what's included, what it does, what the purpose is. Claude can look at the code base and can literally review what it does and go, this is good for what you want. Or, of course, you can do research the old-fashioned way. You can just go on Google and type GitHub repos for SEO, or go on YouTube. And again, if you start following just a couple of AI people, you'll get served content related to what you're searching for and stuff. And so most of the stuff that I come across is just because I've opened Instagram and one of my AI guys has been like, you got to check out this Obsidian repo for saving chat history across all time, or something like that. Or that we came across Paperclip, which is like build your CEO team automatically through one GitHub repo. So
yeah, you get fed that in your Instagram feed.
yeah, it's like,
I
hey,
don't. I have other things in my Instagram feed.
you got dogs and shit.
I asked Claude, this is the problem that I want to solve. I want to make sure that my blogs have SEO components in them. So I wanted specifically a blog and specifically SEO. The next one I look for is going to be quality assurance in a website, or quality assurance in my API keys. So I look for very specific things. I don't know the names of people, to be honest, maybe like one or two AI people. But I just asked Claude, what are the top 5 GitHub repos for this very, very, very specific thing? And then I just kind of pick one, to be honest.
Yeah.
I pick one. And it sometimes
But those people, they will probably produce, I don't know, 50,000 repos, right? So how do you know which one to pick? Is it just obvious? Maybe I'm just overcomplicating it in my head, but like
Think of it like this, that if something's got 10,000 stars, it's because everybody's decided this is really bloody good, right? And I promise you that they ain't got time to make 50,000 repos. Like building an entire code base and then launching it on Git, it takes a hot minute.
okay.
So and it's what you want. Like the repo, think of the repo is it's good at doing what it says it does if other people have recommended it, right? So it's the same as anything else. If you're like, I want to solve a particular problem in my business, and you go and research software or tools or whatever online that can help you solve that problem, you're probably going to pick something that's highly recommended for solving that problem. And it's the same with the GitHub repo. You're like, this repo has been built to do this one thing. This repo is like a content market research agent, and it's been recommended by 15,000 people as one of the best in the market.
Follow the steps and then just make an executive decision and choose one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. And look, you can always pivot. It's just one copy paste, and you're like, I don't like this. Delete it. Let's try this one. Boom. Done.
I'm trying to think if I've ever deleted one or removed one that I didn't like. So far, no.
I mean, I've cleaned up because I went a bit rogue. I was like, oh my God, a kid in a candy shop. Let me install this 57 different repos that I'm never going to use. And then next day I'm like, I can't even remember what half of them do. So I was like, okay, I should probably just install the ones that I actually would find useful. And not just
I have yet to come across one where I just straight up, it like wasn't what I wanted or needed, or fucked everything up. Yeah. I have yet to come across that. How's our little Claude code doing? Well,
still working away.
Working.
Yeah, so
that's faster.
I think I tell you, well, someone made a whip for Claude Code. So in the terminal, it literally shows a whip animation and goes work faster, which I thought was hilarious.
Bad.
I know.
Oh my God, I don't think we can say that on here.
Oh, I don't know.
Can I ask another dumb question?
Yeah, go on, Michelle. Ask as many as you like. All good.
Let me just share my screen, see if it works. Because I'm on my iPad. So this is the document. Is it sharing?
Yeah. We can see that.
Yeah, this is the document you had uploaded. Am I being dumb, or are these meant to be different sizes? The H2, H3, because they all look the same on this.
That's just a contents key, but down below, so if you click on, say, executive summary, that looks like a H2 to me. And then if you click on scroll down. Okay, so industry overview, that's probably a H3. Is that right? If you click on industry overview, it might be hiding behind the Zoom window of our faces.
It'll say H2 or H3 where?
Where does it say that?
Oh, wait, have you got the have you added the document to your own Google Drive? So you need to go file and then make a copy.
Let's open it in the app. View only though. No, okay. File. Make a copy.
There you go. Cool. And then that'll be your version in your Google Drive that you can edit. And so now, there we go, go on. Cool. So now, if you scroll down, I can see that's heading 2. I can see it in the menu bar at the top. And if you click on, say, competitor analysis or industry overview, I'll see the H3 tags. And then obviously if
H2,
you add
H3,
more, yeah, if you were
normal
adding
text.
more, they might be H4. And again, like don't start off trying to do absolutely everything all at once. Just literally start with like a lean version with just the H2 headings that I showed you, and then just talk on the Fathom transcript about that area of your business.
Right.
The reason that I know that this works really well is I literally had a call today with somebody who's someone from the old days of Scrap the 9 to 5, and we went through this exact process for his business, and talked through the plan in the different areas. And I just asked him, like, talk about your business, and he went through all of it, and I took a few notes. But now I've got the Fathom transcripts of him talking about his entire plan. I can build a business plan from that. Everything's covered. We got the full strategy. I know the systems. I know the customer journey. I know the approach, the messaging, so on and so forth. So let me share screen. We have a knowledge graph. Ooh, that's fun. Here we are. So it basically just analyzed my code base, right? And we've now it opened. This is on local host, so this is not online. This is literally just running straight from my folder on my computer. And so what do we have here? So if I go here, so we got layouts, we got handle key down. So okay, so this is basically telling me. Do you see how a lot of these nodes are just floating in absolute cyberspace? Which is like this over here, like this is connected to nothing. Like this over here, these are all connected to absolutely nothing. So this immediately tells me my code base does not have a clue what most of it is doing. I've got some work to
This
do.
is your actual code. This is what all of your agents are doing every day?
So this is this is basically run from my code base, and it's analyzing all the interconnected folders, files, so on and so forth. How do they interact? What do they interact with? What are these? So a lot of this doesn't even mean anything to
I
me.
guess like each of the little balls of things that we're seeing, those are agents. Is that right?
No. So each of the balls is what is related to something. So, for example, let's say one was an agent, right? So somewhere in here, there's going to be a big one that might be. Let me see if I can find like an actual agent. Okay, so this is my one of my main agents containers in my VPS.
Okay.
So master agents, and so connected to that, I've got like it's going to be things like webhook endpoints and campaigns, and this is all again, it's very confusing. A lot of it is just floating off in cyberspace. What's this red line? Imports from. So it imports it from somewhere. Where's it importing it from? Root.ts. What's that connected to? Auth.ts. So it's like there's a lot of data that's flowing in a really messy, non-centralized way with a lot of stuff that's floating in cyberspace. So when you do this for your business plan, it won't look like this giant brain, first of all. It's going to be a lot simpler, and it's going to be a lot clearer. It's so cool. It's going to be a lot clearer, like what's going on there. And so what you'll see is like you'll have your H2s, which would be like the different departments of the business, and you'll see connections between like, for example, in your org chart, you'll have a marketing role, and the marketing role should be connected to the content strategy because that's their job, that's what they do. So you'll have like a node that goes across from there to there and back to there to connect those ideas and those sections.
So ideally it will all connect in the middle and then like spawn out and then with little balls. That's how I'm gonna organize it because that's like what's going on in my head. I'm gonna tell it to organize it like that. If they do connect, to connect it like that.
Okay, so if you said the central node is the business plan, and you were like the knowledge graph, like the core, the heart, the beating heart is this business plan, and everything else branches off of that, and use the H2 tagging format to go, okay, the H2s will branch off of the core, and then the H3s branch off of the H2s. So you'd end up with like branch ball and then little balls around it.
That's what I would like.
But more than that, you want to be able to, it will show connections between the balls and how the information flows. So the point of this is you can then, so we've just done like a basic visual animation, but you can have Claude start to improve on this and build into this and start building things like, again, let me finish this train of thought.
Okay.
But you can have it start building things like visuals. Have I still got my agent's dashboard? Yeah. So things like command centers that connect the flow of information and give you, so this is like the visual architecture, right? How this flows for my email outreach system. And you might get like, the servers, how are the servers connected to, for me, for example, the email accounts that I'm running? And are the email accounts healthy? So that might connect to an agent that goes and checks the servers. And so it's like you can build a dashboard that shows this kind of information and gives you the visuals of what's going on when it's structured more or less in the right way. Now, again, as we see from my knowledge graph, this is going to take a minute to load. Again, it's running a bunch of API calls. But as we see from my knowledge graph, it's not clean. It's an absolute train wreck. And I've still just bolted it all together and sort of slung together a dashboard that hopefully kind of like, fingers crossed, is working. But what I'm about to do now, and this is literally, I've onboarded 3 more clients recently for my email outreach. I cannot send them into that system and expect the entire thing not to just start to disintegrate. I've already got 3 businesses that I'm running in there. I've already got 2 of my own businesses that I'm running through there. I've got 3 more businesses that I need to put in there. It's not good enough. But the advantage I have is I've built that, and I can now go, here's the business plan for this company. Here's all the code for everything that we've built already. I now want you, Claude, to develop a plan to break down and refactor all of the parts that work, but rebuild it within the right context of this plan, this structure, this unified approach that means I can put any business in and it's going to work end to end because the data flows properly, because I've planned it properly from the start, instead of building a monster and just building it without a plan, which is what I've done. And you can see the problem with that.
Michelle, I agree. I also like a more colorful visual approach. I don't like just text on a document. Try it out. Try it out. Try to build like a Miro board, or like try to do this knowledge dot graph and then work backwards. Let us know how it goes. This is the first time we're doing this too. So maybe your approach works really well for you. I want to end with, let's do a competition. Let's see who can have the cleanest looking dot graph. What's it called? Knowledge graph.
Knowledge graph, yeah.
Knowledge graph. Clean it by next week.
I love it.
Let's see who can, and we're all going to vote on like the cleanest one. Just, I don't know what that means, but like, I think we'll know when we know, you know?
It will look really nice. It'll be satisfying.
A nice, organized, clean knowledge graph.
Yes.
Competition.
Yes. And the other point as well, just of showing you this, is that, so that visual, that knowledge graph that was just boom, spun up, and it shows me the code base. The other thing to keep in mind is how easy was it to just import a skill? I literally just copied a link from GitHub. I said to Claude, I want you to import this skill, and then just run it. And then I clicked accept edits while we were talking. And then it just ran, and then it just imported the skill, and then it did it. And we did exactly the same thing for SEO on Amy's website. Right. And I got Claude to find 5 really highly recommended SEO skills. We picked one that was suitable for Amy's configuration. It ran the full SEO analysis on the website, identified all the areas that needed to be improved. Then it improved all of those areas. And now, funny side story, we've just started noticing that she's had referral traffic from ChatGPT. So traffic source is ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is now recommending Betches Walking Betches because we fully optimized the website, or Claude did, for SEO and GEO. So GEO is, I actually don't know what it stands for, but it's basically
ChatGPT's SEO.
Yeah, it's like ranking in LLM's recommended results. So it just did it all, and it was just a GitHub repo. Import it, yeah, boom. Run it, yeah, boom, done. There you are.
I love our developer friends. They just were like, here's something for free. Here's a lot of things for free, and that's already rated. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Once you get into developer world, I think they're very giving people. So we're going to close with that. We have a competition next week of the cleanest knowledge graph.
Yes.
Yes. Start with your business plan, or as Michelle kindly put it, maybe start with the chaos and then work backwards. Let's see.
See what happens.
Can I get Claude to make a knowledge graph if I explain it, what needs to link, and then if it has that, I tell it to then work backwards to
try it out?
No.
Why?
Because the knowledge graph is generated from structure and information. If you explain it and try and create a knowledge graph off of thin air, and then the session ends and you've got no knowledge graph. So it's basically like you want to create the structure and then the graph is generated from the structure. You're not drawing a Miro board in that example.
You come over to Auntie Amy's house and you can draw all of the knowledge graphs that you want over here. Okay. I think there's no rules. I think we don't know. We haven't tried that. If she has like three just
I got the listen.
if she has just like three basic things and she just wants to see it on a colorful splatter board,
Yeah.
try it. That's how my brain thinks too.
You try it, Michelle. You faffo, as
If
Amy would
it
say.
doesn't work, come on next week and be like, yo, that didn't work. And here's why. And isn't that a beautiful learning lesson?
Amazing.
We're gonna close it out.
On
Thank
that note,
you for coming.
perfect. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome week. Much love. See you soon.